Matthew McConaughey's latest appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience has recently gone viral. In the podcast, he and Joe Rogan dive into a lengthy and candid conversation about artificial intelligence, its future, and its possible dangers. McConaughey's concerns over AI, mixed with Rogan's skepticism and curiosity, sparked a dialogue that resonates far beyond technology. As they talked, it became clear that much of what they feared sounded remarkably like the warnings given in the book of Revelation. Specifically the passages about the mark of the beast in Revelation 13. Revelation 13, verse 16 to 17. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. What Rogan and McConaughey describe as the inevitable rise of AI, integration with technology, and even chips implanted in our bodies bears a striking resemblance to this biblical prophecy. Let's examine their own words alongside Scripture and see the parallels. Joe Rogan said,
"And when real AI hits, it'll probably be our governor. It'll be our president. We'll decide that human beings are too dangerous and volatile and emotional, and they'll use Trump's tweets as an example, and they'll decide that the Biden family corruption or whatever scandal any other president was involved in, all this could be avoided if we just have AI run everything."
Right. Here, Rogan imagines AI not just as a tool, but as a ruler, replacing human leadership. He envisions a world where AI governs because humans are deemed too flawed and unpredictable. This mirrors Revelation 13, verse 7, where the beast is given authority over all kindreds and tongues and nations. The prophecy describes a centralized power ruling over humanity, just as Rogan predicts AI might do. What is startling is how casually this idea is entertained. A system that rules the world without emotion or morality may seem efficient, but it removes accountability, compassion, and the human conscience. The human conscience is a remarkable gift from God. It is like a compass built into every person, pointing us toward right and wrong. Yes, the Bible teaches that people can sear their conscience, meaning they can dull or harden it through repeated sin and rejection of God's truth. But the very fact that a conscience can be seared shows that it's there in the first place. It's evidence of God's moral law written on the heart. History is full of tragic examples where people ignored or suppressed their conscience and committed terrible acts of cruelty. Yet there are also stories where conscience stopped people from carrying out evil. I once listened to an account of a soldier who, after his unit had been wiped out, was hiding alone and surrounded by the enemy. One of the enemy soldiers discovered him, but instead of raising his weapon, he walked away and spared his life. Why? Because in that moment, conscience spoke louder than orders. They were just two men, both caught up in war, yet one recognized the humanity of the other. That is the power of the God-given conscience. It can restrain evil when nothing else will. But with artificial intelligence, there is no conscience, only cold, heartless machinery, no soul, no moral compass, no guilty pangs, nothing. It does not hesitate, does not feel shame, does not value life. Personally, I do not believe AI itself is the Antichrist. But I do believe it is part of the system of control we see unfolding in the book of Revelation. And when you look at the concerns of these men, you see just how closely their fears mirror Revelation 13. Rogan continues,
But this is what I think is going to happen. There's going to be integration, and that integration is going to have a huge advantage competitively. If you integrate whatever business you're in, you'll be able to be better at it. And it'll probably be some sort of a neural thing, maybe a wearable thing, and then ultimately it'll be like some sort of an implant. And we're all going to be connected.
This is perhaps the most direct echo of Revelation 13, verse 16, which warns of a mark received in their right hand or in their foreheads. Here, Rogan envisions implants and neural devices that connect us all together. What he sees as competitive advantage, Scripture warns as total control. The frightening part is that this will not be forced at first. It will be marketed as an upgrade. Better memory, better performance, better opportunities. Who would want to be left behind when the world is advancing? Yet the Bible warns that this is the very path by which the beast exerts his power. Small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, all will be marked. Rogan continues.
And it seems like it's either that or AI creates a new order, like a new life form that's far superior to us, that runs things. Because that's AI in just a couple of years. It's going to be smarter than any human on planet.
That's the second scenario is where what I'm not necessarily fearing, but where I see it be going faster, quicker.
Yes.
The first scenario is what you're talking about, like a Neuralink.
The first scenario is how we survive with it.
Right.
Revelation 13, verse 15, speaks of the image of the beast. Life and exercising power, even as putting to death those who refuse to worship it. Rogan's words mirror this chilling prophecy. He suggests I will become a new life form, superior to humans, and will inevitably take control. This sounds eerily like an idol, man-made, yet given power and authority. The ancient idols of stone and wood never truly lived, but the image of the beast will. And Rogan, perhaps unknowingly, describes this future with AI, a lifeless creation made to act alive, ruling over humanity. Revelation 13, verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. When we read this verse, it sounds almost unthinkable. An image, a man-made creation, being given life, being able to speak, and even enforcing obedience through death. For centuries, Bible readers could only imagine what this might look like. But in our generation, the pieces are beginning to line up in ways we never thought possible. Joe Rogan's words strike at the heart of this prophecy. He describes AI as becoming a new life form that's far superior to us, a system that will eventually run everything. Think about that. Humanity creates it, but then humanity bows to it. Isn't that exactly what John saw on the island of Patmos? An image fashioned by human hands, given the appearance of life, and then exercising terrifying authority over the world. Now let me be clear. I am not saying this is exactly how Bible prophecy will unfold. With prophecy, humility is essential. Take the example of Jesus' first coming. He was clearly foretold in Scripture, yet many missed him because he did not come in the way they expected. In the same way, end times prophecies may be fulfilled in ways we do not fully anticipate. All I am saying is that what we're seeing with artificial intelligence could be a possible scenario that resembles what John described in Revelation. This is why the AI discussion is not just about technology. It is about worship, control, and allegiance. Revelation warns of a future where those who refuse to bow to this system, those who resist its commands, will pay the ultimate price. And Rogan, perhaps unknowingly, put into modern words the very thing Scripture declared nearly 2,000 years ago. Artificial intelligence is no longer a far-off concept confined to science fiction. It is rapidly reshaping nearly every aspect of life. From the phones in our pockets to the algorithms that decide what news we see, AI already influences how we think, shop, travel, and even how we communicate. Consider driverless cars. Once a novelty, they are now being tested and deployed in major cities around the world. These vehicles can sense their environment, make split-second decisions, and transport passengers without a human hand on the wheel. It seems convenient, but it also places our movements into the hands of networks that can be tracked, recorded, and even restricted. Smart houses illustrate this even further. Lights, locks, thermostats, refrigerators, and security cameras are increasingly controlled by AI systems. A homeowner can speak a command and an invisible network obeys, adjusting the environment instantly. Yet every device is connected, monitored, and updated remotely. What appears to be autonomy is, in fact, dependence on an unseen infrastructure. This is why many analysts warn that AI is not merely a tool, but is ushering in a new world order, one where daily life is integrated into a single intelligent grid. Our phones are perhaps the most powerful example. Nearly every person now carries a pocket-sized device with cameras, microphones, GPS, and constant internet connectivity. These devices can track where you go, what you buy, what you search, who you talk to, and even what you say. Voice assistants wake up at the sound of a command, but they are always listening for it. Apps harvest data in the background. Location services silently log our every movement. What once was a simple communication device has become a real-time surveillance tool, constantly feeding information into AI-driven systems that profile and predict our behavior. This is already being monetized for advertising, but the same infrastructure could be used for control. It is important to understand that the mark of the beast is not simply a symbol or a piece of technology. It is a system of absolute control. Revelation presents the mark as an identifier that separates the faithful from the unfaithful, those loyal to God from those loyal to the beast. The mark ties directly into commerce. Without it, no man can buy or sell. This is not merely about an emblem. It is about submission to a global authority. Revelation 13 shows us the ultimate form of economic control. A world where every transaction is monitored, every purchase recorded, and every individual forced into compliance. Modern systems already echo this reality. Digital banking, online identification, biometric verification, and surveillance all point toward a future where participation in daily life can be switched on or off with a keystroke. Already, banks can freeze accounts instantly, payment platforms can block transactions, and digital currencies can be programmed with conditions. Combine this with AI's power to analyze massive amounts of data, predict behavior, and enforce rules, and you have the infrastructure for unprecedented control. Scripture tells us this will not just be possible, it will be enforced. The beast's mark is the culmination of humanity's drive for control, a system that masquerades as progress while enslaving souls. In our age of convenience and connectivity, it is easy to overlook how quickly these technologies are knitting together into a single network of influence. Revelation's warning reminds us that the ultimate question will not be about access or upgrades, but about worship and allegiance, who truly rules our lives and who we will serve. Matthew McConaughey and Joe Rogan may not realize it, but their viral conversation echoes the eternal truths of Scripture.